Complex, complex, complex.
Hearing all this, that, and this, and that. Tell the truth, nigga. Whack. Your top 10 is anonymous. Your top 10 is anonymous.
Complex.
Your top 10 is anonymous. Sending all these mixed signals just like
All right, what's poppin', fam? This is your boy AJ Dubs here to motivate, inspirate, and dedicate my service to helping you create your legacy, your O&L story for today for all my Kalojaros out there and Kalojaras. Are you a Lenny or a LeBron? I'll say that again. Are you a Lenny or a LeBron? Of course, everybody knows who LeBron James is. Pretty much one of the greatest basketball players ever to touch a ball. But some of you guys don't know about Lenny Cook. All right, let's get into his origins. Lenny Cook was the #1 basketball player in the nation going into his senior year. And here's the funny thing, LeBron James was the #2 basketball player in the nation as a junior behind him. The funny thing about Lenny Cook was, even though he was a great player, he lacked discipline. He lacked passion. He didn't care about the people around him as much as in listening to them. Lack of appreciation. And I'll tell you, little things go a long way, guys. Are you a hard worker or are you a slacker? That's the question. Now, let's get into Lenny again. Like I said, he had all the support he needed to be successful. His mother sent him to a sponsor's house to live with her, so that way he can have a better opportunity of going to school and be able to go to college and play ball and all those things, right? He already got to see the other side of life, even though he was from the hood. But the lady who was in the house would always tell him good things, and he ignored it. He didn't understand the gratitude or the appreciation of, the situation that he had. Little things make a person, guys. And you're going to see this in the future. So let's fast forward. He decides that he's not going to finish his education in high school. He figures that he's such a good ball player that education is not important. Some people forget that there's a second part to life after sports, guys, once you make it. Then a point comes where this is where it starts. The ABCD camp. ABCD camp had over 300, I don't know the exact number, but I think 300 to maybe 400 of the best basketball players in the nation that would come to this camp. And like I said, little things make a big difference. Every day they would have meetings. They would have, skill sessions where they would work on the basics and the fundamentals of basketball. Lenny felt that he was too good to even participate in any of the drills. He felt he was too good to even show up for the meetings of learning knowledge of the game, not just the fundamentals, but the mental side of the game. Coaches would come to him and say, all the big people have been here. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, these people, all these people right here, all these guys would come to this camp and they would show up on time. They would be accountable. They would learn the things that we're telling you. If you don't do this, this is going to give you a bad reputation. Now, Lenny's lack of accountability is what caught up to him. Every mistake he made in the camp, when the coaches would make him run, he would make excuses. Well, this person told me this, or this person told me that, or said we were supposed to be here at this time. Instead of just saying, my bad, coach, you know what? I need to be more accountable. I understand how important this is. I don't want to ruin my reputation. I apologize. So whatever you need me to do, whatever punishment you got for me, I'll do it. Accountability, people. Little things. Appreciating your opportunities. But anyway, he still made excuses and had lack of accountability anyway. Even the coach told him and said, look, you have to put in the work. If you're not willing to put in the work and just act all spoiled, you're going to ruin yourself. But fast forward into the camp. There was an interview video they would do with the players. Lenny, with the lack of accountability, appreciation, would talk a bunch of superstar bullshit about how great you are without having the balance of humility. To me, the actually true definition of confidence is to be able to balance your arrogance and your humility. That way you stay on that middle line of true confidence, knowing when to talk your shit, knowing when not to talk, and putting things into action. That is the true balance of confidence. So fast forward, they go into LeBron James's interview. LeBron James is saying all the right things. If you really want to be good at this game, you really have to work hard. You have to have the right attitude and listen, actually appreciate the little things that are, make a person great. Do we see the difference, people? To all my colloquials out there, do you see the difference right there? You got one on the arrogant side, and you got the other who has a good balance of both. Even till this day, LeBron James, his AAU coach helps him run, who was his high school coach, helps him run the AAU program back home in Akron. He still stays in touch with some of his old teammates, his old teachers, even built his own school. If that's not, if that is not appreciation for your life, I don't know what is. To be able to go back to your own hometown to give opportunity. That means the opportunities that were given to you as a young buck, you appreciated it. You appreciated the coaches. You appreciated your teammates. You appreciated the game and the little things that came with it. Now let's fast forward to the game. The famous game between Lenny and LeBron. Everybody in this camp couldn't wait to see what happens between these two. The number one basketball player against the number two basketball player, right? So as the game starts out, Lenny comes down. He's tearing LeBron's team up, hitting jump shots left and right. They're about 14, 15 points. But this is where LeBron's, skill of knowing the little things started to trump Lenny. After a while, Lenny started putting some vicious defense on Lenny to a point where he started to shut him down. And this is like the beginning of, the middle of the third quarter going into the fourth. And as time goes by, the crowd who's making all this noise for Lenny starts to die down because they see that LeBron is shutting him down defensively, scoring, doing all kind of things. So by the end of the fourth quarter, I think it's about 30 seconds left, or I can't remember what was on the clock, but I know this. LeBron's team was down by 1. LeBron comes down with the ball, makes a move on Lenny, hits a jump shot, and LeBron's team wins by 1. Now, let me tell you the end result of this, and I think Lenny Cook was very, very lucky that he ended up getting this at the end of it. By the time the camp was over, LeBron left as the number one basketball player in the nation, and Lenny left as number 5. But with his attitude, talking back to coaches, not listening, not being accountable, he lucky he even got that ranking at all. He probably would have ended up 20 or 25 or way further down the line than that. So, as time goes by, you can see the position switch between these guys. When AAU started out in the summertime, Lenny goes out to Vegas, knowing that he was supposed to be on the court, working on his game, working on his future. Instead of doing that, he decided to go out to clubs, hanging out, chasing girls, doing things he should not be doing. You should be focused on your future. But, like I said, the lack of appreciating the little things, which catches up with you. So, Lenny decides, I'm not going to play in this tournament at all anyway. I feel like I'm better than anybody anyway, so why should I even play AAU, right? Scouts started to grow tired of him once they start hearing the things he was doing. He flew back to New York after doing all that hanging out and did not participate. That was the nail in the coffin for him. That's where it started, right there. So let's fast forward a little bit further. Lenny decides, like I said, to not finish his education in high school, guys. all my colloquials out there, finish high school. I'm telling you, because that is the basics of, even English and math to use in your future, okay? So finish high school, very, very important, okay? He decides not to finish. Like I said, last straw in his corner on that. 2002 draft comes. Lenny decides he's just going to work out and just jump into the draft, and everything's going to be okay. So Carmelo Anthony gets drafted. Amari Stoudemire gets drafted. LeBron James gets drafted. Where is Lenny Cook? Lenny Cook didn't even get drafted because of all the bad habits, lack of accountability, lack of, showing love for the little things when it comes to the game. Caught up with him. Had nothing but resentment. It got to a point where when they got on the court, there was a time where Lenny was going to actually play LeBron again. They wouldn't even let him on the court when LeBron got out there. Talk about a bad reputation that follows you. So he ends up in minor leagues, like the CBA, Europe. He goes over there and he's averaging 35 points a game. People are asking, why isn't he in the NBA? Never made it back. It's funny how little things catch up to you guys. So let's fast forward. He goes to Madison Square Garden and sees Carmelo Anthony play and starts to feel those moments of envy and resentment of the little things that caught up with him, to see all his friends in a place where he wanted to go. So when he leaves Madison Square Garden, he goes to see his friends and starts pointing fingers. It's your fault why this happened. Y'all never come mess with me. You never come fuck with me. You never come fuck with me. You never come hang out with me. You never come do this. Pointing fingers left and right and not looking in the mirror. But at the same time, I kind of blame his friends too, because if you're a real friend, you should be the one to tell that person what they need. Hey, Lenny, man, look, you got to finish high school, man. If you don't do this, they're going to look at you a certain way. I heard you had a bad attitude down at the camp, man. You got to change that. That is a real friend. A real friend tells you what you need to hear, not just ride with you because of what they're going to get behind you. Come on, people. The value. Well, afterwards, now Lenny is working at McDonald's. Little odd jobs, hanging around the house. Nothing but resentment and regret, of days of the past. And we all cannot live in the past, people. So once that happened, there was a part on the end of this documentary, too. Like I said, when you get a chance, watch this documentary. Lenny Cook with the E on the end. At the end of this whole thing, they went back to the camp where they saw younger Lenny, hanging away from the camp, figuring he was bigger and better than everybody else. Then they had the older Lenny standing in front of him, where Lenny is talking to him and saying, look at you now, man. Yeah, you had money, you had this, girls and all this stuff, but you fucked everything up. You ain't want to listen when people were talking to you, they're giving you the right advice. You felt like you could do what you wanted to, and now look at you. But you know what you can do? Just live life, stay positive, and keep it moving. And at the end of it, he said to himself, I'm going to stop talking because I'm tired than a motherfucker. So I'm saying this to all those athletes out there, to all my colloquials, so those who want to be something in life, it's the little things that get you where you want to be. And if you don't do that, it will catch you, with the quickness. Anyway, if you have any struggles, situations, challenges, and you don't know what to do, email me at originsxlegacies@gmail.com. That's Origins with the Z on the end, X in the middle, Legacies, IEZ@gmail.com. But until then, to all my colloquials who trying to work on that legacy, baby, keep it pimpin', pimpalicious. I'll see you on the next one.
Praying that I don't drown from this money fountain. Another million buried, that's thanks to my accountants. Hello world, I would like you to meet our worst nightmare on any black wall. Wall Street. I mastered